This is budget season, and elected officials have been hosting meetings to hear public comment. On Friday, Speaker of the House Christopher Donovan, Minority Leader Larry Cafaro, Senate President Pro Tem Donald Williams, and the Senate Minority Leader Pro Tem John McKinney held a breakfast at the Holiday Inn for those in the business community, where they addressed a variety of ways to deal with the deficit. Each official was allowed time to speak, and here are some of their responses.
Now, in terms of health care, we do have good benefits, but as I just said, it's less expensive than most other benefit plans out there. The fact that we can save money on Medicaid with our prescription plan shows we have a pretty good plan. I'd like to offer businesses to get into that plan. You will save money too.
So it's important to understand your thinking. You had the governor down here Tuesday.
Right.
He made it very clear if you took state employees, transferred them to the federal system, which is a good system, the state of Connecticut would save $100 million a year. So yes, state employees have a good system. You can make some changes, but it's a very expensive system.
It's not.
So my
well,
question
I
to
think
you
I beg
is,
the difference. Not
does it have to change?
It's not expensive, and that's part of the negotiations that the governor has to have with the state employees. As with any employee relationship, whether it's Wall Street or the state employees, there's a contract proposal. The governor is negotiating with that, and they're going to have to try to work it out. But I think the idea of racing to the bottom in terms of health care is something we don't want to look at.
Everyone in this room would give much to have a tenth of what the benefits are currently offered and given. There must be change.
That would be $3,000, by the way.
Our governor has said it. Our neighboring states, chief executive officers from both parties have said it. You hear it around the country. We cannot sustain the current compensation system that we provide our state municipal employees at this level. We cannot do it. We cannot do it. We cannot do it.
So we know about we need to improve our transportation system. I'm sure people are very happy with the new rail cars that we have. Guess what? They weren't free. You had to pay for them. And they're helping our infrastructure in terms of rail. The colleges, community colleges, the state universities are part of our infrastructure. I was at Norwalk Community College, I was at Nantucket Community College, and there is a very intimate relationship with the businesses community and the community college is in terms of reacting to what they need in terms of a trained and educated workforce.
First of all, we've always put forth that very thing. We're supposed to be about jobs, but in fairness and to be consistent, if we are going to be looking at trying to balance a budget and close the hole that we talked about, tax incentives basically means a loss of revenue to the state. So before we get to incenting by way of tax breaks at this stage anyway, and I think that's certainly something that we should phase in over time, we have to get our own house in order.
Gas tax increase, do people want it? Absolutely not. Tolls? No. But I respect the governor for taking on this issue and proposing some unpopular solutions. And I'm willing to look at what he has proposed because it has to be paid for in some way. And neither one of those are appealing. And tolls, you know, as Larry pointed out, things have changed a lot since the 1980s, and with Easy Pass in New York and New Jersey and Massachusetts. You know, Connecticut is the one place without that. Could that increase some congestion at times when we're trying to decrease congestion? Perhaps. But I am willing to look at what the governor has proposed, knowing that they are unpopular solutions, but knowing that we need solutions, because transportation is related to jobs. And
we are always under the mistaken belief that the only tax that we as the state of Connecticut get on our gasoline is the 25 cents that you see at the pump, delineated and highlighted. And the governor's proposed raising that to 28 cents. Truth be told, we also have a gross receipts tax, which means we get a percentage, the state does, every time the wholesale price of gasoline goes up. So every time you turn on the television and based on something that might happen in the Middle East or elsewhere in this world that causes the price of gasoline to go up, every time it goes up, even though that state tax stays at 25 cents, the state is enriching itself because we have a floating percentage gross receipts tax. That's why I don't believe at this time, in this economy, where people are hurting out there, and we already have, I think, the highest gas prices in the country, except for maybe Alaska and Hawaii, that we should be increasing that even more.
Look, the governor didn't propose tolls, let's be clear. He proposed a 3-cent increase in the gasoline tax. I think that's a bad idea. We should not do it. I think tolls we can't do right now. We need to look at it. One, you need to get a waiver from the federal government to do tolls. If you just put up tolls, you've got to get back all the federal highway money you've gotten since they did away with tolls. That's in the billions of dollars. So you have to go through a federal process to get an application to get a waiver. The reason you get the waiver is if you can show that your tolling system is for traffic mitigation. Well, border tolls probably aren't for traffic mitigation, they're just for revenue. So you have to need a whole statewide tolling system. You're going to get a lot less votes for that than you are just for border tolls.
Well, but last night, I was talking to this woman, and she said, you know what, I went to Massachusetts, and the gas was 11 cents cheaper a gallon. And then I took the tolls. I drove the bus. I said, how much was it? She said, $1.50. So I said, round trip was $3, right? She said, yes. I said, so, and how much do you get on your car? She goes, I get 30 miles a gallon. So it cost her 44 cents in gas, and cost her $3 in tolls. I said, which is better, 44 cents or $3? She said 44 cents. I said, well, all right, let's bring the tolls back then. So, right, you have to figure out the math. And I think everybody has to realize we have to pay for it. What's the best way to do it?